Are you thinking about moving to Palm Bay, Florida, but unsure if it's the place for you and your budget? Well, guys, today we're going to be going over the cost of living associated with Palm Bay, Florida. As always, my name is Tim Petitti. I'm your local real estate agent. Make sure to hit that subscribe button down below if you would like to see content related to that. Let's not waste any more time and jump into it. If this is an exercise that you want to try on your own time, you could type in bestplace.net on whatever browser you're using. It should be the first website that pops up, and type in any city, location, county, you name it in the search box and it will pop it up. But guys, we have all the information already, and we'll start this graph over here on the right side of me. This is going to be 8 categories of overall: groceries, health, housing, median home cost, utilities, transportation, and miscellaneous. Your miscellaneous is going to be your entertainment, your restaurants, and things like that. Now, before we get into all the numbers, it is important to remember that this website ranks affordability based on an average of 100. So if you are below 100, 99, 98, 97, you are actually going to be a lower cost of living for Florida. If you are above 100, 100, 101, 102, 103, you are going to be above the average cost of living in Florida. So guys, as you can see on the right hand side, the first one is going to be overall. Palm Bay comes in at 95.6 and Florida is coming in at 103.1. So Palm Bay overall, the cost of living is going to be lower than the rest of Florida. Now, it is important to remember for my locals out there, has things gotten more expensive? Absolutely. I can't name a place on the map that hasn't gotten more expensive to live. But remember, this is the average. Is Palm Bay more expensive than it was a year ago? Absolutely. All right, number 2 is going to be groceries, guys. It is a 99.1. Florida as a whole is 102.8. There's a lot of grocery options in Palm Bay. You have Aldi's, Publix, Walmart, BJ's. I'm sure I'm missing a few in there, Winn-Dixie. So with all that competition around in groceries, you could kind of pick and choose where you're going to go to buy certain products and end up saving a little more on groceries. The third one is going to be health. Palm Bay comes at 99.9, so just about average, but Florida as a whole is 102.3. Housing for Palm Bay, Florida is a 77.5. Florida as a whole is 101.3. So Palm Bay is going to be a lower cost of living when it comes to housing and maintenance for housing, where the median price, as you guys can see on the right hand side, is going to be $301,000 for Palm Bay, where Florida is $362,000. It's important to remember that Palm Bay is huge with over 100,000 in a population. There's different sections such as Southwest Palm Bay, Southeast Palm Bay, Northeast Palm Bay, and Northwest Palm Bay. So you are going to see a difference in pricing when it comes to these sections of Palm Bay. Usually your Northwest and sometimes your Northeast housing is going to be a little more expensive than your Southwest and Southeast housing. But of course, that's always going to depend on the quality of house, the year built, and the updates that the owner have made to that house. Next up, guys, is going to be utility. Palm Bay comes in at 97.7, where Florida comes in at 101.3. So our utilities is slightly below the average for Florida. Transportation is going to be 89.1, where all Florida is 112.6. Again, this is at an average of 100. So Florida as a whole is quite expensive when it comes to transportation. Palm Bay in general doesn't have a ton of transportation. We do have our local buses, but we don't have any taxi services outside of Uber, so usually most people are going to own their vehicle. Miscellaneous is going to be the one section in Palm Bay, Florida that is going to be above the average of 100, coming in at 105.8, where the average for Florida is at 87. So doing things in Palm Bay, Florida are going to cost you a little more than the average. Now, this number could be a little skewed for Palm Bay because, again, Palm Bay is heavy on the residential side. So there's not a lot when it comes to entertainment, but there is a lot of restaurant options. So I imagine that's where a lot of this number ends up getting skewed at. Next up, I like to put these numbers into perspective. So when it comes to utilities, for Palm Bay, Florida. Now, I'm in a 2-2 townhouse, so my electric bill is usually around $70 to $80. But I have friends that have 3-2s in Palm Bay, and I've asked them what their utility bill is, and they're looking at $250 to $300. Now, again, this is going to be your standard 3-2, about 2,000 square feet in Palm Bay, Florida. And they told me that their weekly grocery bill for about 3 kids can be anywhere from $200 to $300. That is going to be different for everyone, but it just kind of gives you some of the costs associated with buying groceries and what would be your standard living quarters. If you guys have any questions about Palm Bay, Florida, please do not hesitate to reach out. I am born and raised here in Palm Bay, Florida. I love this city and I know a lot about it. And I will see you guys in the next one.